Hey folks, leave it here once again. Welcome back to another review. Hope you enjoyed my review and slash rant on Justice League. Disappointing movie in my opinion. I don't hate the movie, but I just didn't care for it. And guys, remember, stay subbed to this channel with the mask profile picture on it. And if you want to know about me doing more videos, just click the bell. There's a little bell you can click where it says I'll personalize, where you can know when I upload a video, or I'll probably do posts on the community post for next videos and stuff. Sometimes. Well, like my Val Kilmer video I did, tribute video I did last night. That wasn't really planned. Pickups 3, maybe I'll do it next time, but sorry about that. But yeah, I did post about this review. And guys, what I've been doing is a superhero marathon on my YouTube channel. What I've been doing is what I call the 2010s era of superhero reviews. These are superhero movies that came out in the year 2000, 2010, I guess, starting with 2010, 2019. And right now, I'm starting with the year. I am now on the year 2018. So we got this 2019, that's it. And then we'll begin the 2020 era superhero reviews. So let's get started. This is the 18th film in the MCU that stars like Chadwick Boseman as the main character. We saw this character in Captain America: Civil War, and I'm talking about the 2018. Sorry, and that is the 2018 Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, Marvel film, the 18th film in the MCU. That is Black Panther. Yes, I enjoyed this movie. I loved it. Now I know when this movie came out, some people maybe have different opinions on it, but I liked it. But some people even would say, "Oh, this is like the first African American black." No, it's not. It's the first film to star an African American or a black lead. It's not the first film to star a black superhero. I'm like, folks, there's the Meteor Man, Robert Townsend. I would say the Meteor Man, uh, Blank Man, uh, Spawn and Steel. Spawn that starred Michael J. White, and Steel that starred Kill O'Neal. Yeah, those movies suck. But and Blade, Up and Away. That's a Disney Channel movie, but it does star. It's a superhero movie though, a superhero film, and it does star black leads. And then of course you had Blade 2 and Blade Trinity. Can't think of any more at the moment. But yeah, there's been other movies starring black leads before. In this movie, I thought this was really good. Was this a completely perfect movie? No. But it is good. I thought it had an interesting story. I love the world of Wakanda, especially Chadwick Boseman. He's what makes this movie work. You know, like I said, I think this is now. Don't get me wrong. I like Michael J. White, but Spawn sucked. Spawn was a shitty film. Still was terrible because number one, imagine Shaquille O'Neal as Black Panther. Yeah, that would be terrible. Yeah, he was awful still. You wanted to call this movie terrible if you hate it that much, then go watch Steel and Spawn. Those films are awful. You know, go watch that or go watch Blade Trinity. Where Wesley Snipes looks bored and it's an awful plot. Yeah, those are definitely better than those. And Blade Trinity was a Marvel movie, and that sucked. Yeah, but I did like this movie. I did enjoy it, but I did have some problems with it. I do have my issues with it. Despite that, though, I did enjoy it. Yeah. But let's get into the production of the movie. I'll read some quotes if I have time. But in June 1992, Wesley Snipes announced his intention to make a film about Black Panther and began work on it by that August. Snipes felt that Africa has been portrayed poorly in Hollywood films, previously that the film could highlight the majesty of the community due to the title character being noble and the antithesis of African stereotypes. Snipes planned to begin Black Panther after starring in Demolition Man with Sylvester Stallone, and a month later he expressed interest. That's all the same year Meteor Man came out, Robert Townsend. And Robert Townsend also starred in Up and Away, by the way, the Disney Channel movie, and wanted to make sequels of the film. January 1994, which was also the same year Black Man came out, Snipes entered talks with Columbia Pictures to portray Black Panther. Black Panther co-creator Stan Lee joined the film by March. By November and May, Snipes had discussions with several different screenwriters and directors about the project, including Marvin Van Peebles and John Singleton. Marvin Van Peebles, the only movie I've seen him in, let's see. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I just gotta look. Oh, Jaws the Revenge, yeah. When the film had not progressed between 1996, it was that time where some superhero movies that came out, well, like The Phantom, did not do well at the box office. Lee explained that he had no, he that he had not been pleased with the scripts of the project. Snipe said that one of the issues with the project's development was confusion among those familiar with the comics who thought that the film was about the Black Panther Party. No, yeah, that was Black Power back then. If you've seen Forrest Gump, I'm sorry for ruining your Black Panther Party. No, I'm sorry. Just to make a joke there. We've yet to have a major black comic book superhero on the screen. And again, this was before Blade, but Wesley Snipes. You had the Meteor Man and Blank Man. I mean, yeah, there was more. Well, I would say the issue of Meteor Man, it is comedy and tries to be drama. The tone wasn't very good with that movie, but Blade Man had a good tone. It was a spoof. Yeah, it is a dream come true. But although in July 1997 Black Panther was listed as part of Marvel Comics film, but Marvel probably hired Joe Questy and Jimmy Panther, who at the time were those Black Panther comics to work on it. Questy and Plana have both denied this. That August corporate problems at Marvel put the project on hold. It was a time where this was a time when Marvel movies, you had the Unreleased Fantastic Four movie, you had Captain America 1990, you had Howard the Duck, Punisher, whatever. These films did not do very well at the box office. And then you had the Incredible Hulk TV. I love the Incredible Hulk Returns. That's a fun movie. I think Incredible Hulk is decent. Then you have Death of the Incredible Hulk, and that sucked. So Wesley Snipes, I mean, I do think it's awesome he wanted to make a Black Panther movie at the time, but it was a time where Marvel movies were not doing well at the box office. This is way before the MCU, by the way. You know, way before that. They announced a deal with Marvel in May. Snipes planned to make the film, or Blade 3, over the next year. But of course, even though that didn't work, Snipes in 1998, like I said, Blade came out in 1998. He started that. And to be honest, he is Blade. Just like Christopher Reeve is Superman, and Mal Keaton to me is Batman. And Wesley Snipes is Blade, but to me, Chadwick Boseman is T'Challa, Black Panther. So he was perfect for the role. And Snipes was perfect for Blade. I love him as Blade. Don't get me wrong, Blade 2 is my favorite. Blade theater David Score said that he felt Snipes starring as Black Panther, Marvel's Blade might be overkill. Which I don't like David Score as a director, and I did not like Blade Trinity, but he does have a point there. It is overkill. I think he was just born to play Blade. I appreciate Wesley Snipes' commitment to doing this, but maybe he was just meant to play Blade. He was actually, and he was perfect for that role. September 2005, Chairman and CEO Avi Alvord announced Black Panther as one of the 10 films being developed by the new Marvel. Marvel Studios received financing to produce the state of 10 films. In June 2006, you did have some Marvel films that came out before then, like the Spider-Man films, X-Men movies, and X-Men Last Stand, and this time came out in 2006, and that got mixed reviews. That was a disappointment of a movie. Kevin Feige returned in February 2007 that Black Panther was in development. 2 months, Tim Winton had been approached to direct the film. Fantastic Four director Tim Story expressed interest in casting Dimash Husni as Black Panther, and he directed Fantastic Four: Rise of Silver Surfer, but that was not well received. Yeah, even though I like Rise of Silver Surfer, but it did not get good reviews. Neither did Spider-Man 3, and this was a time where Marvel Ghost Rider came out that same year. You had Marvel movies that were hit, like I said. Spider-Man 2 was a huge hit. The first Spider-Man film was Hulk. Ang Lee's Hulk sucked. That was boring. It wasn't until March 2009 Marvel hired writers to help come up. And this was by then we already had Iron Man and the MCU started. So of course they were planning a Black Panther movie. Snyder's involvement stalled at this time, and he was convicted of failing to file a tax return, served his sentence. Yeah, of course, Wesley Snipes refused to pay his taxes, and of course we all know he went to prison because of it. Now his trying to do this project was done for him. Marvel Studios hired a documentary filmmaker Mark Bailey to write a script for Black Panther to be produced by Feige. The metal vibranium, which comes from Black Panther's home nation, Wakanda, and Marvel had considered showing Wakanda itself as Earth 992, but wait until they had full idea of how to accept it. Uh, it is the vibranium does come from Wakanda, but it also comes from Captain America's shield and Vision. The character Vision's whole body is made of vibranium. Vision announced that Black Panther will be released on November 3rd, 2017, with Chadwick Boseman cast as he played the character. We introduced the character in Captain America: Civil War. Boseman did not audition for the role, instead discussing what he wanted to do with the part with Marvel, and earned $2 million for appearing in the film. The actor was said to first portray the character in Captain America Civil War, which happened, that was a hit, and he was fantastic in that. The actor was Snipes gave his support for the project despite no longer being involved. He said that Marvel was considering writers and directors for the film. The best filmmakers, the best writers, the best directors possible. So I'm not going to say for sure. I'm going to hear from from demographic ways. I'm sorry, I can't say that word right. Also said the film was going through a brainstorming phase. Next month, Marvel pushed back release to July 6th. Also in February, Feige said the casting of the film was underway. He had to meet with directors of the film following the release of Avengers Age of Ultron. Marvel had discussions with A.B. Edgar to work on Black Panther Captain Marvel. Feige confirmed that it had met with several directors. One director passed on it. Ryan Coogler, F. Gary Gary, had been considered directors for the film. Ryan Coogler got the job. Ray had chosen to direct The Fate of the Furious instead. Yeah. Coogler was confirmed as director in January 2016. The film was his most personal movie to date, in part because he grew up reading comics. I felt fortunate to be unable to work on something passionate about again. After being wooed by Feige for months, Coogler agreed to direct the film if he could bring collaborators from his previous films to the film from other MCU films that are often shot, composed, and edited by the same in-house people. Coogler said, "What's so great about Panther is he's a superhero who is the leader of his country. It just happens that that country is a warrior-based nation where leaders have to go to be warriors as well as so sometimes have to fight." In 2016, April 2016, Feige said that Coolidge was working on the script for the with Cole. The filming will begin at the beginning of 2017. He added the film would be the first Marvel Studios production to feature a African American cast. Living in New soon as stars T'Challa's love interest might be joined cast in Sleuth's role. Name more. Producer San Diego Comic Con. Nahi was confirmed to be in the film with the role of Naka. I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher some of these names. Sorry. They cast some other people as well. Because we be inspiring her role as a suit from Captain America Civil War. Amanda Strindberg, a severe role in the film, but was confirmed for taking the place of a dark-skinned actor. Coolidge promoting the film at the 2016 San Diego Comic Con, and he is the director of this film. Yeah. Here's the film were picked from throughout the comics based on what worked for the film story. Donald Glover and his brother Stephen made some minor. Donald Glover, who was also in Spider-Man: Homecoming, playing the uncle of Aaron Davis, who is the uncle of Miles Davis. Or, Aaron, sorry, I'm getting confused here. More to know that early script had more scenes outside of Wakanda, what means to be African and African American, and a bit more. It focuses on family and T'Challa learning to be king. You know, Civil War laid the groundwork for T'Challa's and mortality, establishing the landscape where he'd have to deal with on returning to Wakanda. Cole called the film an opportunity to a black superhero, at a time when African Americans are famous for their identities dealing with publication. As a performed to read the film, The Cultures of Africa, with filmmakers consult with experts on reign of Africa that Wakanda is supposed to be located in. Coolidge compared the already existing Wakanda to the real life Colton. The Mazda people of Kenya were inspired 80% of the film. Yeah. The set was, oh, okay, I'm just reading. Some of this movie was filmed in Atlanta, Georgia. The tribal council was built for glass floor, which was no room that could be seen. The set was 36 feet, 11 made of a 6 feet high pool, and then 30 foot high. Tunnels built in no design. The pool was filled up 6 large pumps so to create a waterfall above the ledge. Bottom. The base of the pool was made from padding, so stunts could be safely carried out on the set, designed to look like rocks and had enough crepe that the edges would not fall over in the water. The set was completed in 4 months and used for 2 weeks of filming. Costume designer Ruthie Carter references some stuff. Examined works by Japanese fashion. The costumes T'Challa combine his role as king, the head of the military, including combining a cloak with military boots. Colors and patterns feature Wakanda's tribes. Filming began on January 21st, 2017, at Ewing Green Studios in the Malpatrian area, Atlanta metropolitan area, on the road to Motherland, and someone Pinewood Atlanta Studios of the which doubled as Oakland, the High Museum of Art, Atlanta City Hall. Jordan joined the production later than the rest of the forecast. He felt that his performance since his character separate from and conflicted with the other characters because of this. Jordan kept himself while he was on set, so he's really getting into his character. That was cool. Both the movies were filming in Atlanta, Georgia. Films took place in South Korea. Black Panther was edited by Michael Sherner and Debbie Berman. Some of the visual effects of the movie were done by ILM, Industrial Light Magic. They've been doing, well, several other superhero movies, but they started out with Star Wars. It's just a film called Star Wars, and it's from 1977. Yeah. Industrial Light Magic, you see their work a bit. I love how they made Wakanda look. Now, people do criticize some of the effects in this movie, which I can understand. I like the way they made the Black Panther suit again. It looks really cool. Pictures they worked on the car chase sequence, creating the car featured in the sequence, and models. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but if you want to read it, learn about the production of this movie, yeah. I'm not going to get into all of it. Sorry. Yeah. Or if you get the film on DVD or Blu-ray yourself, if you mostly have it on Blu-ray, you probably watch behind the scenes of it. Um, Ludwig Göransson decided to go to Africa to do research on the film. He spent a month in there. Yeah, and I do like the music score for the movie. It really fits the tone of the film. For the marketing, though, I do remember the trailer and this really amazing poster they have for the movie. And for toys, well, they had a commercial where you wear the Black Panther mask. They have Black Panther toys and stuff or at Walmart and Targets just to market the movie. Or, they also, trailers are a marketing tool for movies. So when you would go to the movie theater back in 2018 or 2017, let's say October, November, December, they probably show the trailer for this movie. And the cast was at 2017 San Diego Comic Con promoting the film. Yeah. And the film, yeah, it premiered at a Diplo Theater in Los Angeles on January 29, 2018, and got a worldwide release here in the US on February 16th, 2018. It's part of Phase 3 of the MCU. Critics praised its direction, writing, and acting, particularly that of Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, and Wright. Costume design, production values, and soundtrack, but some criticized the visual effects. Many critics consider the film one of the best in the MCU, and I agree with that, not only for its cultural significance. It did gross over $1.3 billion. It did become the highest grossing film directed by a black filmmaker. The ninth, wow, that's awesome. And the ninth grossing film at that time. Third highest grossing film in the U.S. Second highest grossing film for 19. It was the first movie to receive a Best Picture nomination. Of course, it did get a sequel, but sadly, Boseman died in 2020. But they do pay respect to him. They did have an anime series, Eyes of Wakanda, which I have not seen. But for the cast of the movie, and I do think the film has a good cast. Oh, yeah, there's Chadwick Boseman and the cast members at Comic Con and along with Kevin Feige. Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa, Black Panther. He's the king of Africa, nation of Wakanda, who gains superhuman abilities by ingesting the heart-shaped herb. That he is he's also the king of Wakanda first. A king. And as Black Panther, he has the orb that he takes. It gives him super strength, speed, and agility. It gives him super strength as well. But he protects Wakanda. And any threats dealing with Wakanda, Black Panther protects. You know. But Chadwick Boseman, he's done other movies too. I remember seeing him in 42, and of course, Captain America Civil War is my introduction to him. I definitely want to see other movies that he's done. Like I said, I like 42. I haven't seen Draft Day. Uh, Marshall. I think he also played James Brown in a movie. Yeah, Get On Up. You know, I definitely like to see that. Defy Bloods. Yeah, there is footage archive footage of him in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. The sequel does heavily weigh on his death. You know, and I do appreciate it for that. You know, I did watch the sequel last night actually, and I thought it was pretty good. We'll get to my thoughts on that when I review Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. And Michael B. Jordan as Najaku, Eric Killmonger Stevens, a black ops mercenary former U.S. who seeks to overthrow his cousin T'Challa and force his own how Wakanda should be used. Yeah. Well, Michael B. Jordan, he's been well. You said the two superhero movies. That was, of course, well, he was in Horrible when he was a kid. I love that movie with Keanu Reeves. It's a real good film. Chronicle. That's a superhero movie. Well, found footage superhero movie directed by Josh Trank, and of course, Welcome to Josh Trank again and Fan Force Take, which I don't mind that movie. I know a lot of people hate it. And of course, Creed. I don't like Creed. I'm sorry. He just doesn't work in the Creed movies. And him being especially in New Legacy, yeah. And he directed. I'm sorry, just didn't need that. And he does have a cameo in the sequel. Even though, spoiler alert, his character dies in this movie, there will be spoilers in this review. I'll mention a couple more times. And anyway, loved it. Naka tells us more love in a war dog. She's known for inspiring for Wakanda. Yeah. She was in Star Wars: The Force Awakens, 12 Years of Slave. I remember her non-stop with Liam Neeson on The Jungle Book. She was Rakisha, who was Mowgli's, you know, voicing a wolf, who was the mother of Mowgli Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Had a cameo. Rise of Skywalker. And Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. A good actress. I'm sorry if I said her name wrong. Dana Corey as Ogi, and Children Power Wakanda to transition from the border tribe, who is the head of the Jor Malash. I can't say it. But the actress was good. And she did come back for the sequel. Martin Freeman as Everett K. Frost. Remember the Central Intelligence Agency? Who later ends up in Wakanda after getting injured. And he does return for the sequel as well. Daniel Tashi as Bubaka, a competent Telesheli and his best friend for the Border Tribe. I remember him in movies like, let's see, oh yeah, he was in Kick-Ass too. Yeah. And of course, Get Out. I love that movie, directed by Jordan Peele. That was a good film. Good actor. In Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, he voiced Spider-Punk. Okay. Yeah. Lita Wright as Sherry. She was really good in the movie. She does come back for the sequel, being the lead. She she was in Ready Player One, Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, and of course Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And she'll be in Avengers Doomsday. Shuri is the T'Challa's sister. Winston Duke as Mabak, a powerful ruthless warrior who's on the leader of Wakanda's mountain tribe. He would go on to play the character again in Infinity War and Endgame, and Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and Avengers Doomsday. Okay. Sterling K. Brown is Nabjo, Tashaka's brother and Killumage's father. He's in films like Marshall. Oh, let's see. Chadwick Boseman was in that movie too. The Predator, the Angry Birds movie 2, Frozen 2, doing a voice for that movie. Forest Whitaker as Zuri, another stem as Wakanda, and the keeper of the heart-shaped herb. Forest Whitaker, great actor. He's been in plenty of movies, I would say. Uh, let's see, movies he's been in. Vision Quest, but he was in Good Morning Vietnam with Robin Williams. He was in Bloodsport, Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. Johnny Handsome, Diary of a Hitman. Species, I remember him in that. Yeah. Phone Booth, I remember him in that. With Colin Farrell, directed by the late Joel Schumacher. Street Kings, Dragon Hunters, Repo Man. Uh, I think Vantage Point with Dennis Quaid. Yeah. But good actor. I always like Forrest Whitaker as an actor. And I think he was also in Taken 3 with Liam Neeson. Andy Serkis, as you saw, so I met Andy Serkis in person uh, last year in February at the Atlantic Comic Con. He's a really nice guy, and I remember asking him about Chadwick Boseman. He said he loved working with Chadwick, and that Chadwick was a real nice person. Yeah. But he's seen the character in Avengers: Age of Ultron. He's a lot of a Killmonger. He's a South African black market arms dealer, smuggler, and gangster who Wakanda has been dealing with him for like 30 years, with him stealing from them. He's got the distributor arm cannon because Ultron, ripped his arm off. If you remember when he compared him to Tony Stark, and Ultron's like, "Do not compare me to Tony." And he broke his arm, ripped his arm off. Yeah. And Stan Lee has a cameo as well in here. The late Stan Lee as a patron in the South Korean casino. Sebastian Stain makes an uncredited appearance in a post-credit scene responding his role as Bucky Barnes. The film is directed by Ryan Coogler, who I believe also directed the sequel. Yeah, he also directed, well, didn't direct, but wrote the story for Creed 3 and directed Creed 1 and 2, which, or was an executive producer on Creed 2, and I don't like the Creed movies, I'm sorry. Yeah, uncredited rewrites for Space Jam: New Legacy. The only movies I like that were the two Black Panther movies, and that's it. Written by him and also Joe Robert Cole, who also wrote the script for the sequel, based on Black Panther created by Stanley and Jack Kirby, produced by Kevin Feige, who has been producing these Marvel movies since the first Iron Man film in 2008. He's also an executive producer on some of the early Marvel movies before the MCU. That includes the first X-Men movie, X2, Spider-Man, Daredevil, Punisher, the Thomas Jane version, Elektra, yeah, Next Adventure Tomorrow, Hulk versus Thor and Wolverine, The Amazing Spider-Man, Thor Tales of Asgard, cinematography by Rachel Morrison. He's done cinematography for movies like, let's see, okay, nothing I've probably ever seen. Edited by Michael B. Schroyer, who has edited films like Dirty Dancing, not the Patrick Swayze one, Creed, Quiet Place Part 2, and Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and Debbie Berman. He's worked on films like Touchback, Black November, Spider-Man: Homecoming, Captain Marvel, starring Brie Larson. Music is by Ludwig Göransson. He's done music for Creed 1 and 2. Says he did the music for the first Venom movie. Tenet and Turning Red. Tenet, I think, that was a Christopher Nolan movie, I believe. Purchase company's Marvel Studios. Distributed at Walt Disney Studios. It was released February 16th, 2018, here in the United States. It's 134 minutes long, about 2 hours and 15 minutes. The film, for the budget to make the movie, is $200 million. The box office made 1.35 million dollars, $1 billion worldwide. I believe it made money mainly because of Chadwick Boseman. Because number one, it was something different. Do I think the movie needed to make $1 billion? No, but it's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. But that's what I like about Marvel at this time. Yeah, is I'm still sticking with Marvel because at this time they would also give you different kind of superhero movies. They brought in Spider-Man and that was a hit. Uh, Captain America: Civil War made $1 billion, and I guess people like the character Black Panther so much they wanted to see his movie. I remember being excited for this movie, when it came out. Anyway, that's the people who worked on it. Yeah, and like I said, there will be spoilers for review. So if you've never seen 31 minutes, okay. So if you've never seen this movie, Black Panther from 2018, starring like Chadwick Boseman, if you've never seen this movie, do not watch this review because there are spoilers in this review. I'm only telling you this. I'll go ahead and take the slipcover off. Yeah, as I have the film on Blu-ray. You do have deleted scenes and gag reel coming of a new king, the warriors within, the hidden king, some behind the scenes stuff of the movie. But I'm sure the movie has. I want to get that cover just of Black Panther. I do tend to get some of the even for Thor Ragnarok or even Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I love the slipcovers I have though for the upgraded Marvels on Blu-ray. Definitely. But anyway, but Black Panther 2018. I'm just going to give you the plot synopsis right now. So the story is that after the death of his father, T'Challa returns to home to the African. Now this takes place after the events of Captain America: Civil War, where he's going back to Wakanda as he wanted revenge, blaming the Winter Soldier for his father's death. But it was Zemo who set all that up. He was going to kill Winter Soldier, but after he saw that Zemo was the robot guy, he put Zemo in prison. And after the death of his father was killed, and he did get the justice, not vengeance, but did get his justice for it. T'Challa had returns back to Wakanda, his every nation Wakanda, to take his rightful place as king of Wakanda. And when a powerful enemy suddenly reappears, that is Eric Killmonger, who is set out for revenge. He wants the throne, and let's just say he has some deadly plans. He wants Wakanda to be out there. He wants Wakanda to be involved more into the world, but he wants to create more weapons, and yeah, he wants to destroy the world pretty much. And with accepting he also is takes the mantle of a Black Panther, which is from passed down from warrior to king to or kings. And what they do is by this herb, this shape herb, like a flower, but that you drink it, and it gives you powers, special powers like super strength. And the Black Panther protects Wakanda, so he gets tested. So T'Challa, and as Black Panther, he gets tested when he's drawn into a conflict that puts the fate of Wakanda, the entire world at risk. Faced with treachery and danger, the young king must rely on his allies. That is his sister Sherry, his mother, which we don't see her here. His mother, the queen, his girlfriend here, well, his love interest here, and the lady here, too. His allies to help him out and release the full power of Black Panther to defeat his foes and to secure the safety of his people and save the world as well from what's going to happen from this war that's breaking out. And he must, as Black Panther, must stop Killmonger and defeat him before he can destroy Wakanda and the world too. So Black Panther has to, T'Challa as Black Panther must stop him for good. Yeah, and save his kingdom as well. Yeah, and that's the plot of the movie for you. If I get time, I'll read quotes. So, like I said, if I get time. Nope, I'm gonna talk about the movie itself, then I'll give you my final opinion later on it. It's not raining out there too bad. It was raining a little bit out there. But I'm gonna talk about the film itself. I just want to check on something. Oh, okay. Don't want to be too long. Okay. All right. Let's get back to the movie. Sorry. I'm sorry. Well, again, I will put it in the description box below, so pay attention for that description below. The description below. The description box. If I can barely talk, because there will be spoilers in this review. So if you've never seen the movie, do not spoil it for yourself. You know. So Black Panther. So here we go. So the movie opens up with you hear the voices of a young T'Challa and his father, who tells him a story centuries ago that as five African tribes were at war over a meteorite that made up of the alien metal vibranium that landed on Earth. The warrior shaman Basha is a heart-shaped herb fed by the metal and gains superhuman abilities. This king, who becomes the first Black Panther, unites all tribes of the Jubilant tribe and unites all tribes except the Jubal tribe, and then forms the nation of Wakanda. As time passes, the Wakanda use the vibranium to develop highly advanced technology, isolating themselves from the rest of the world and posing as a third world country. Yeah, and they keep it in secret. Yeah, and when you take the heart shape, or when a king does, when they protect Wakanda or whatever, or if there's any threats or any business that deals with Wakanda outside of Wakanda, the Black Panther goes to take care of it. Yeah, as the Black Panther, the king who is the Black Panther, who's ever king of Wakanda, is the takes the heart shape over. They get super strength, super speed, well not super strength, but agility and all that. Gives them abilities. But the film opens up in 1992 after that, with King T'Chaka visits his brother Nabju, who's working undercover in California. But you find, his brother says, "I can't believe what you did," and he basically tells his brother that he knows that you're working with Andy Serkis' character. You saw his claw. He's selling vibranium from Wakanda, and his partner is revealed to be Zuri, who's another Wakanda. When they press their lips out like this, the lips are like blue, and he's mad. He's like, "You will come to jail. We're gonna face justice for Wakanda." When the king walks in, they bow down to show respect. Zuri is able to keep his cool though, and of course this makes him mad for him betraying him. Then next thing you see a boy just looking up at the sky, seeing the Wakanda, the kingship, and then the movie cuts to the presents, to the presents where T'Chaka has died. You President T'Challa returns to Wakanda, assumed the throne after his father's death, talking about his father, and he's wearing his Black Panther suit. Well, has his mask. Yeah. After him, Zemo works with Asoki, who's the leader of the Jordan Machai, to get his ex girlfriend for an undercover assignment. So she's like, "You better not freeze up. I won't freeze up when I see her." And he puts his mask on. It's cool when he jumps off the ship, off the plane, and puts all those Black Panther weapons, like these little black balls or whatever. It's pretty cool when he's hiding mentally for him. Yeah, some of the shots are not the best action scene in the world. But let's face it, Spawn, you didn't barely get any good action either. Even that was a lot of dated bad CGI. And still, come on, still had awful action. At least Black Panther can fight. You know, I'll give him that. There's scenes where he's chopping at man, he like cuts a door, hits a guy with a door. They can barely shoot at him, and the Black Panther's just kicking their ass. At least Black Panther can kick ass. The shot and kick some ass. Yeah. Tell me, did Shaquille O'Neal really do that? No. Yeah. And by the way, the Black Panther suit's a lot cooler than the way Spawn looks, in my opinion. And then still, Meteor Man had a nice suit, but that film was all over the place with its tone. But I do like his suit as Bronze Eagle and Up and Away. To Robert Townsend, and I like White Man suit as well. But that was more of a comedy spoof, different movie. He then saves her. He does freeze up. Senior. Okay, comes down to face him. And she said, "Well, I needed you." And I said, it's like, "We're home, my king." You see, I love the way they made Wakanda look. It's like they had like kind of like Themyscira. Meets his mom, Queen Ravanda, and his sister, Princess Shuri. And she's like, "Did he freeze up?" He's like, yep, he did. It's like, no, we don't need to talk about this now. I was like, and Sherry walks away, and then she gives her brother the finger. And everyone's like, Sherry? Sorry, mother. She's like, are you ready, my son? Me and my father talked about this day for you. And then he's got to do, it's tradition that at this ceremony, to induct him as king, he had to challenge one of the warriors from other tribes. It's just their tradition. Tells you to drink a liquid that removes his strength and his Black Panther abilities in a ritual combat. That is Mabu, who's the leader of the mountain tribe, you know, who claims that he's not worthy of being king. And it's a pretty good fight. I like how they do these tribes fight. They wear like, these masks, shoves like a black mask on. Now he's a big guy. He even bear hooks T'Challa. It's a good fight, but T'Challa fights back pretty good, and even he's got him like in a headlock. T'Challa's bleeding now, but he almost beats T'Challa, but T'Challa gives him a good punch. Mabu Mabu is bleeding in the head. T'Challa's got him, you know, in a chokehold. He's like, it's not worth dying for. And then he becomes the king. Well, even though I think they do this probably Wakanda, and they do like dancing and stuff, but it's part of their ritual, it's part of their tradition. It is neat to see how Black Panther's world is, and that's what you're getting with this movie. So you might, again, you're getting it in his world. So when you're in the character's world, you're gonna get something different, you know. But we see that, and like I said, I think it just shows that even without the Black Panther, that he's a strong warrior, even without his abilities. Yeah, because the king is also supposed to be the warrior to protect Wakanda as a Black Panther. And the time may come when maybe it's because if they don't have that power, they could lose it, that they're still able to fight. Yeah. Well, T'Challa, what I love about this character, Lloyd Chadwell's playing, that he's a good man with a good heart. You know, and his father tells him this too because he gets the heart shaped orb. They like bury T'Challa in dirt, and he goes like sees this vision of his father, and he tells him that he's a good man with a good heart. And it's like, you rule wisely, you be a good king's son. And he apologizes to his father. He's like, don't apologize. You do not know you're a king, and knowing who T'Challa would do well. He also warns that he's gonna have struggles too, and surround himself with people that he trusts. T'Challa wakes from the dream like, breathe, T'Challa, breathe. You know, but then you have Claw and his associate Eric Stevens, and I love Andy Serkis in this movie. I probably told him this, but I do love him as Claw. He was fantastic. I mean, I liked, don't get me wrong, Jordan was good, but Andy Serkis was fantastic in the role too. And on the Planet of the Apes reboot movies. Say what you will about those films, but I think he's fantastic. And as Gollum, I think in Lord of the Rings movies, they still remember an artifact because he goes undercover, with glasses on and like having this jacket on, just asking this lady about the history stuff. Tells him about the history of where these artifacts came from. They're like, no, it's from Wakanda. Like, I'm sorry, it's from there. And he puts something in a drink that poisons the lady. And these doctors show up with that his Claw and his other associates. And Claw like, wow, pow, shoots them. He's like, here's this guy. Claw, is like, you, come here, come here. He's like, you get to run away here for free. Go, bye bye. And, and the guy runs and Claw shoots him in the head. And he's like, why can't you just shoot him there? He's like, well, we have to spread the crime scene a little bit. Make it look like amateurs, you know. So we had to spread out a little bit. And they steal the artifact. Claw's able to use his, like I say, he's got a mechanical arm. We saw this character, like I said, in Avengers Age of Ultron. When Ultron came to him looking for a weapon, something like that. Or needed some kind of information from him. And when he teased him about being Tony Stark, Ultron ripped his arm off. Like tore his arm off. So that's why you see that mechanic arm. Yeah, and that was in 2015 when that came out. So, but Kaba, the guy from Get Out, he lost his parents as a result of the diligent actions. First, as was King, they talk about Claw, that he's evaded from 30 years, that his father regrets not catching him, and that he's been breaking their laws and after them so that they need to stop him. So they want to bring him to justice. T'Challa, Oki, and Naka, they plan to interrupt the Claw at the underground casino in South Korea. Naka, Oki's gonna wear a wig, which she does not like. There will be a selling artifact to an unknown buyer. The buyer is CIA agent Everett Ross. He talks to Ross and says, I gave you Zemo, made a deal with you. He's like, yes, you did, but it's not your business here. That I'm just doing my job, and we're going to Claw, and you will not get him. You will not bring him to Wakanda, which they're planning to do, dead or alive. Eventually, they get discovered. Well, Stan Lee makes a cameo. Was like, I'm just gonna take these chips, and then that was Stan Lee. That was a nice cameo. Really enjoyed his cameo there. Stan Lee, I love all his cameos pretty much. Can't decide a favorite, but there's just too many that I like. Well, then there's some where he's not speaking, where he could just be there not speaking, but or saving somebody, or just standing there like he does in the first X-Men movie, or Charlie Incredible Hulk. That was 1989. That was his first cameo, I think, in a Marvel movie as one of the members of the jury. Anyway, they go off. Agent Ross, confronts, as the buyer, but eventually they find out what he's doing, and Claus tries to escape. There's a bit of fight. Oki's, Oka's wig comes off. She fights some people. Nija, she fights some people too, and T'Challa's still a badass. Puts up a good fight. He jumps up there. The guy's like, "Oh, King!" He's going to try to shoot the arm at him. He grabs his box. It has money in it, and I like that Andy Serkis can be over the top too of the character. Over the top too. Like shoots it. He's like this. I made it rain. I like that. Or he's like this. And they're running. He's like, "That was awesome. This is awesome." You know. And they're running in the car. T'Challa's chasing him. Gets his Black Panther suit on. Where he can just push a button on his body or whatever, it just comes on. Sherry gets this car that's technology, like she can just be there, and he's on the technology car. Black Panther is. He's just on top of it. I like when he kind of rolls over the car, uses his claws to just screw him over, And he gets made of anti-brain, so anybody actually shooting them, he knocks some of the cars out, which is cool. On top of some cars, with some people. And there's this one awesome moment where he like uses the vibranium like this. Yeah, I forgot to mention the scene where him and Sherry are joking with each other, and she gives him his new suit. He punches it too hard, but when he hits it again, it's got vibranium, and he can use it for his new suit in the film. If you can probably tell here a bit in the picture, well, it's not glowy enough, but there's a bit of vibranium which he uses to knock out a car, and eventually it does stop Claw because like you savages don't belong there or something. And then him and Claw fight, and he grabs Claw and he's about ready to claw him up and kill him. Like the whole world watches Majesty and he doesn't do it. Said they take Claw to Ross, Deja Ross, and he questions him. He tells him about Wakanda. Like it was like, I can see you. He was really doing that. I thought that was hilarious. I was like, you ain't gonna catch me. You ain't gonna catch me. Something singing a song. It's just so funny. It's like Wakanda. It's like El Dorado. You know. Yeah. But after and also I forgot to mention, also well T'Challa says you can interview him, then we're gonna take him back to Wakanda. He puts like a device on him where they can listen to what they're talking about. But eventually, uh, Stevens, Killmonger shows up, blows up side of the building, it's like the building the left side of it or whatever, blows up and he gets him out of there. And Black Panther, kills Black Panther. Everett Ross, gets shot by Killmonger, but well, because he almost shoots Sniper, and she nearly gets killed, but he like jumps in the way and takes a bullet for her. T'Challa tries to go fight them, tries to go chase him with Black Panther, but Killmonger shoots a gun at him. Kind of like a grenade, which did, the vibranium does protect him from getting hurt, but just blow him back, knocks him back. But they take Everett Ross to Wakanda, and they do that to save his life. All I do was chase this film like, well, we're gonna save another white boy. First, Loki is not very happy about it, but and she tries to have an attitude with T'Challa, telling him, he's like, your responsibilities as king. He's like, I know my responsibilities as king. I don't need you to question me. We're going to heal this man. He saved her life. We're going to do the right thing here. But T'Challa, I forgot to mention when he was going to go chase Killmonger, he sees this ring. That's the same ring that he's got. That's from Wakanda. And he questions her about now his uncle Najabu. Fierce was another Jew planning to share Wakanda's technology with the people of African descent around the world to help them conquer their oppressors. T'Chaka arrested Noko. Noko attacked Siri. Well, pretty much, in the beginning that we saw when his brother came and told him that, I know you stole the vibranium, and we're thinking about arresting you, thinking about Wakanda for your crimes, and that he believes that people need to know about Wakanda, but they're happily keeping this a secret. And so, feeling betrayed, he tries to, go, goes for he has a gun, and Nabzu goes for the gun. It's gonna try to shoot at Siri, but you know, but T'Chaka T'Chaka's able to grab it and stabs him with the claws. He's able to reflect the bullet and stabs his brother, that kills his own brother, and says, "We have to leave here." And they go, and that's how Killmonger finds his daddy and sets out the person that he becomes to be, a vengeful, angry person. You know, in order to, so they disappeared and left behind Nuju's son Eric. In order to maintain life, Eric became a U.S. Black Ops soldier. I got the name Killmonger. Killmonger, they're talking about going to Wakanda. They need to go there, but they're planning to go somewhere else. But instead, Killmonger, kills Claw's other man. He's gonna kill his girlfriend, but Killmonger doesn't care about his girlfriend. He just shoots his girlfriend dead, and he shoots Claw's injury. He's like, "You're one of those savage." He's like, shows him his mouth. He's like, under the lip, his blue lip. He's like, "You're one of them," and he shoots him dead and brings him to Wakanda. And I forgot to mention I'm gonna look at that name, but the character right here who wanted Sokola, who wanted Claw dead, gets impressed with him, and he was mad because T'Challa didn't make that promise. But when Killmonger does, he starts to trust Killmonger, and Killmonger comes to them saying who he is, and he's got proof of it. He's like, "What's up, Auntie?" He's like, one person says, "It's cool, are you?" in their language, and he says, he's like I'm T'Chaka, the son of Dabu, and your daddy, your father's a murderer, and I found my daddy, with with bear claws in his chest, dead. Yeah. And he, says that Wakanda, they need to show the weapons up here in the world. They need to show the world what they can do. Kind of be judge and executioner. They need to use the weapons to attack the world. And he's like, Charles like, no, we don't do that. King T'Challa says, we're not judge and executioner. We have no right to take the world. That's not what Wakanda's for. Then, he wants to challenge him for the throne, and T'Challa accepts. Where he drinks the water. To, Killmonger takes off his shirt and you see all these scars and people that he's killed over the years. And at first, he does okay, but eventually, Killmonger is able to overpower T'Challa out first and stabs him right here, like in the stomach, nearly kills him. But Siri shows up and Siri's like, no, it was me that killed your father. I was there. I set him up. He's like, well, thank you, because he stabs and kills Siri. T'Challa tries to attack him, but he knocks him out pretty hard. He picks up T'Challa like this. He's like, "You're weak, king, like this. Your king is weak." And then he throws him over the side of the waterfall. And his mother, his sister, and Fury, not Nika, they run out of there. And he throws him into the waterfall, and he's presumed dead. He gets the heart-shaped herb to gain the powers of the Black Panther. He sees his father, and that they want to share the secrets of the world and secrets of Wakanda, see the world's beauty, and kind of a sad moment for him. In a way, you do feel sorry for Killmonger because he was just a kid when this happened, and but because even I forgot to mention earlier when he goes to see his father, in the afterlife, the vision, tells his father, well, we had to maintain life, we had to protect Wakanda. You should have brought the boy with you. You know, it's wrong what you did. It's very wrong. All of you are wrong, and I won't do stuff like this. Never. Hmm. We're gonna do things the right way. He gets the heart shaped orb. Killmonger orders the rest incarcerated. Naika is able to sneak in and grab one orb, but they said, "Well, this is for the king." He's like, "I'm the only king," and he chokes her. He's like, "Do what I say," and he burns it. Killmonger is supported by Wakapki and his army. In fact, his father's plan, preparing shipments of Wakanda weapons to distribute to Wakanda outrages around the New World, that of which includes New York City, London, and Hong Kong. And he can start a war with this. Nagi, Shira, Ross, and T'Challa's mother, Ramonda, flee to seek the aid of the Japaka, Mabu's men. We're caring for the. Well, he told, they ask him for help, and he refuses at first. And, Ross tries to speak. He's like, hoo, hoo, hoo. You talk again, I'm going to throw you to the dogs. We'll eat you. We're like, no, we're not savages. I'm kidding. But we do have someone. They have T'Challa. They buried him in the snow. That's when he questions his father when they put it there. He doesn't want to do it the right way. But he tells his father so he's going to return to stop, the monster that he's become, And he returns to Wakanda. He thanks Mabu, thanks him for it, for saving his life. He's like, well, you should help us fight. He's like, then he refuses. I'm like, okay. But after he's done with Wakanda, if we lose, who do you think he's going to come after next? You. Shell returns to the Mount, where Killmonger is apparently taking over the throne, talking about what he wants to do. And Oki, she doesn't, not Naga tries to get her to join them, but she's like, no, my job is to serve her. Whoever's ever on the throne plans his war. And I like it when Shaka shows up. He's like, we're gonna shut the world down. We're gonna destroy half the world and all that stuff. We're gonna show the weapons, and they try to send the weapons out in a ship. But one ship gets attacked, and it's Black Panther, and it's T'Challa, which is an epic moment. He comes out, takes the mask off, just says, he's like, he's like, he's like, he's like, hi, he's like, hey, cuz, all that challenge is over with. He's like, as you can see, I am not dead, but this is over. I'm gonna stop you. So, Wokka, Wokka and his army decided to attack the Black Panther. They do fight him a bit, but he's able to use his right brain like a punch just to get them away from him. And Sherry, Naga, Nogi joined the Durham Marshal and battling Wakika. Ross pilots a remote jet, which is really cool. It's like a remote one, and he's fighting there a bit, trying to stop the planes carrying the weapons before they can leave the country by destroying them. Yeah, and as this fight going on, Woki tries to fight T'Challa, but T'Challa's able to kick him up. He grabs his rhino. Yeah, they have rhinos. The tribe does. Black Panther's able to fight. the ladies, the Ogi and her warriors are trying to fight the king, are trying to fight Killmonger, but Killmonger, this roll kind of like stabs her throat, cuts her throat, and they fight him more, ready to fight. And I like when Killmonger's ready to fight. He's like, look at that look on his face. Despite Sherry too nearly gets to kill her, and Black Panther, you know, gets knocked out real hard, and he also has to knock out one of the rhinos. Yeah, and Weapon and his army eventually surrender to his wife. He's like, "You're not gonna kill me, my love." He's like, "For Wakanda, yes, indeed, I will kill you if I have to." They surrender. Why? Why T'Challa goes to fight Killmonger. He was close to killing Sherry, but T'Challa, who just Booby's, I can't say him right. His army's about to kill him, but he uses the vibranium, puts them away. He taps Killmonger. They fight a little bit on the ground. This is where some of the CGI looks bad in this fight. I'm sorry, it does look terrible. They go into the Great Mound. The tribe surrenders. Mabuk shows up. T'Challa and Killmonger vie for supremacy. The sonic disruptors, and the plane. Yeah, some of the CGI here was not really good. Yeah. And he's trying to Killmonger. And he's like, Sherry, turn on the plane phone. But you'll be weak, and so you won't have protection. Neither will he. And he says, just to talk to him. He's like, you need to stop this madness. You're gonna destroy the world, Wakanda included. You just want to become like the people you hate so much. The war took everything away from me. It was like this, and he even makes a threat toward him. Well, Killmonger says, I'm gonna think about track anybody that thinks that's gonna be loyal to you, and I'm gonna kill them, and I'm gonna bury their ass right next to Zuri. And then this pisses off him enough and they start fighting. They have a dagger, and they're fighting with the dagger. Good music though, and he comes close to killing T'Challa. He's got the knife on him. He's over the edge of the train or the plane, the Great Field or whatever. He's about to stab him. He's like, this is it. This is it for you, cousin. Comes close to killing him. They throw the knife up again when he pushes him, and then and then he stabs him with the knife, Killmonger with the knife. He's like, good move, cuz. You know. But T'Challa, even though Victoria shows mercy to his Killmonger, fulfills a childhood wish. He wants to see the sunset of Wakanda, so he takes him to go see the sunset of Wakanda. He offers to heal him. That's what makes T'Challa such a good man with a good heart. That even though after everything Killmonger has done, he still can have passion and forgiveness for him, and is willing to save his life. But I was like, no, just bury me in the sea, like my ancestors before me. They knew death was better than bondage, and Killmonger takes a knife out of his chest, and dies. And you see that upset look on him, that knowing that he just needed help. You know, T'Challa then, after that, well, starts buying buildings, gonna do something for Wakanda. And some kid asks him, "Who are you?" Talking to Sherry, his sister Sherry. Some kid goes to, "Who are you?" Then we get two post-credit scenes where T'Challa establishes an embassy in California, where his uncle was murdered. T'Challa appoints Sherry and Naku to run the embassy. T'Challa appears before the United Nations, saying that we're all brothers and sisters. We all should, be helping each other and have respect for one another. Uh, yeah. And I can see T'Challa as a wise king, knowing that they shouldn't hide forever and that they should do the right thing and try to help other cities. And not only is Black Panther to defeat enemies like Killmonger, but anybody else who's a threat to the world where he can help. Maybe trying to. I think he's just trying to make peace. You know, as a king should. You know, as a leader should. But then later, you get a post say Bucky Barnes, who was granted asylum by T'Challa, wakes up in Wakanda, is met by Sherry. She's helping him with his recuperation from his mental programming. If you remember in Captain America: Civil War, his him and Cap's fight with Iron Man trying to kill him. Iron Man ripped his arm off, and they brought him here to for safety and to heal him up. He's like, "How you feeling, Sergeant Burns?" Is like, "Please, Bucky." And I said, "Well, come on, let's go." And then Bucky just walks over in. It's Sebastian saying just a small cameo, and that's it. And then just walks away. And then the movie ends there. And then it says Black Panther will return and what am I doing? Will return in Avengers: Infinity War, which he does, of course. And that's the end of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I mean, Black Panther, the first Black Panther movie. We're not talking about that movie. Am I going nuts? Sorry. Mabu, if you say one word, I'll feed you to my children. I'm kidding. We're vegetarians. What kind of no one catch from the shadows? We cannot. We must not. We were to be example of how we, our brothers and sisters on earth, should treat each other. Now more than ever, delicious or division threaten our very existence. We all know the truth. More connected than this separates us, but in times of crisis, the wise build bridges with the foolish build barriers. We must find a way to look after one another as if one single tribe. T'Challa, we can still heal you. Why? So you can lock me up? No, just bury me in the ocean, my ancestors who jumped from the ships because they knew death was better than bondage. Is this Wakanda? No, it's Kansas. Did he freeze? Like an antelope in headlights. You're a good man with a good heart, and it's hard for a good man to be a king. Does she speak English? When she wants to. You can't let your father's mistakes define who you are. You decide what kind of king you are going to be. What do you actually know about Wakanda? Shepherds, textiles, cool outfits. It's all in front. So we're searching for it. El Dorado. They thought I could find in South America. It was Africa the whole time. Marvel, all because technical Marvel, because it was built on a mountain of most valuable known to man. Just don't freeze when you see her. What are you talking about? I never freeze. Wakanda forever. Don't scare me like that. A meteor made of vibranium, the strongest substance in the universe, struck the continent of Africa, affecting the plant life around. And when the time came for man, 5 tribes settled in called Wakanda. The tribes lived in constant war with each other. Warrior Sherman received a vision from the Panther, goddess Bast, who led them to the heart-shaped herb, a plant that granted them superhuman strength and speed and instincts. The warrior became king of the first Black Panther, compared to Wakanda. My suit is good. Old tech, function, but old people are shooting at me. Wait, let me put my helmet on. I lived my entire life waiting for this moment. I trained, I lied, I killed just to get here. I killed in America, Africa, and Iraq. I took life from my own brothers and sisters. All the death so I can just kill you. If you're not stubborn, you would make a great queen. I make a great queen, you know, because I'm so stubborn. And they talk and they do share a kiss at the end. Why don't you give me the name of your supplier and I'll ask him. He's rather sad. Why don't you ask him yourself? You want to go to Wakanda? The savages. You can scare yourself as much as you like. To them, you're just being necessary. You're a crazy thing. You just walk in there and think you're crazy. Anyway, that's enough quotes from the movie. Alright. So, Black Panther, 2018 film. I love this movie. This is really good. How it portrays African Americans is real good. And their culture. You know, it is not the first black superhero movie, but I do think the movie does respect African Americans and their culture as well. The movie respects that, and mainly because of the story was really good. I think the story is interesting. Yeah, we don't get a lot of Black Panther movies, but so what? The film has a good story. Even in superhero movies that are still good, you don't always see the hero firsthand. The thing is with superhero movies, though, you have to have a good story and be invested in the characters. I'm invested in T'Challa, Black Panther. But Chadwick Boseman does a great job. I'm invested in the story. You know, yeah, I think the story is very investful. I'm invested in the story, and I like the lead. Yeah, and I thought Chadwick Boseman he did a great job. He was Black Panther. He was right for the part. You can't replace him as Black Panther. It just won't work. I mean, Sherry was good in the new movie, but Wakanda Forever. But to me, Black Panther will always be Chadwick Boseman. May he rest in peace. He played this character, he made this character his own, and he did a great job with it. The movie's not racist. You do have a white character. Everett Ross is a white character, so don't be thinking the movie's like racist or anything. And I love this movie. I love how different it is, how it represents African American culture, and I love the way Wakanda looks in the movie. Wakanda looks fantastic. So ILM does have some good special effects, especially like Black Panther suits were cool, and when the vibranium goes off when he, like hits you with something or uses like a shield out of it, whatever you want to call it, looks really cool. Yeah, and I think the poster looks real good. I think Chadwick Boseman's only great. He's great. Michael B. Jordan as Eric Killmonger. You feel sorry for him. The past he went to, seeing his dad murdered it when he was a child in the movie. His character, you see why he has so much anger and hate, you know, in his heart, and that's why he came the way he is. But Liv to Nasha as Naga, she does a good job. Martin Freeman does a good job. Good job. Dinah Gurchi, as Oji, Oki. I can't say the name right. All good. All the cast I think is real good. Angela Bassett, Andy Serkis was great as well. You have a really great cast in the film. And yeah, the action scenes when they're there with Black Panther, yeah, it's not a whole lot. But again, you didn't get Iron Man 3. You didn't get a lot of Iron Man in Iron Man 3. Yeah, and that film had a terrible story. I did not like the story of that movie. And yeah, and he's better. Eric Killmonger is better, more memorable, and a better villain than Guy Pearce. Sorry. Music score is good. You know, I like it's like the type of African theme, which is good. It works. The tone sets the tone. The cinematography is nice. I love the way the special effects are. Not all the CGI works in the movie, but a lot of the CGI was good too. You know, not all the visual effects are terrible, but the editing is good. Some of it can be a little choppy in the beginning. Some of it can be good. Yeah, taking place at nighttime. I don't like nighttime scenes because it can be hard to see. I get it. A Black Panther can move really fast, but show me in the light of day. Like we saw him as Black Panther the first time in the suit in Captain America: Civil War and the Bright of Day, and that was awesome. You know, yeah. I don't like nighttime scenes in any movie. Sometimes you can't see what the hell is going on. But I thought Ryan Coogler did a good job directing. I thought the script, the writing was good. I love the story how T'Challa becomes a king. Then he's got to face this new threat. It does have a very interesting story. And yeah, T'Challa, the king, yeah, you go along with his journey and see that he wants to, bring peace to Wakanda, protect Wakanda as well. But he's a good man with a good heart, and I believe he was in real life too, a good actor as well. And I believe he was probably sick at the time, but he just kept it private. Well, the thing is with the actors, you have to realize the reason they like to keep privacy because if they say that they're sick, then they have a thing called paparazzi, whatever, photographers trying to take pictures of them, you know, because I know that happened to Patrick Swayze when he was sick. Yeah, so for actors having a personal life, private life is hard for them when you have somebody in the camera showing the camera in your face, asking why you sick, and then yeah, so sometimes they like privacy. It's hard for them to go out in the public when somebody's click click click, you know. But I think the cast was really good. I thought the direction, the writing was good. Now to my negatives, I do wish Andy Serkis was great in this movie. Andy Serkis, I think, needed to be more in this movie. I hate that they killed his. I think he could have done more with Claw. I wish he was in the movie a lot more. I get it. Eric Killmonger being the main villain, and at some point, of course, Killmonger just needed to use him for that plane, and just used him. Killmonger just used him to get to Wakanda, and then of course murder him. But I do wish he had more to do because he was very entertaining as a villain, and he was funny. He was over the top, silly, and yeah, I liked his mechanical arm. That was cool, and he was a good villain. I wish they would have kept him around more. Yeah. Oh yeah, Black Panther cuts it off again. But yeah, I wish he was in the movie more. And at the end, the fight with the Great Mountain with them in the train. That those special effects, that CGI with the fight was terrible, was awful. But other than that, the rest of the visual effects look good. Wakanda looks beautiful. Yeah, it's just the visual effects at the end. Yeah, and I do wish Black Panther, there's a little more action scenes in there, more, a little more screen time for Black Panther. Spider-Man: Homecoming so far, where he's in the mask most of the time in the movie, that's what you want to see. You want to see the character in the costume more. Yeah, but again, I get it. It is about the story. I'm saying you have a good story, but you just want to see the character more. And again, I get it. It's more about the story, not just the hero in action, but we do want to see our heroes in action and in the suit, you know, which is cool. But either way, it was good. It's still an entertaining movie. I love this film. I love how different it is, and this is what I loved about Marvel at the time. That yeah, this film was just 2 hours and 15. It didn't feel like it. It felt like it went by a good pace too. It didn't get boring at all. It was interesting to me all the way through. It's better than Justice League because it doesn't feel rushed. Justice League felt too short, and Justice League felt like a rushed movie. This did not. They took time. This movie took a lot of time to get made, and they made it at the right time. I think. Great movie, good movie in my opinion. So just those are my issues with it. Despite those issues I have with it, it's still an enjoyable movie. I can't think of any other issue. Just I think Andy, a little more action with Black Panther would be nice. The editing in the beginning is a bit choppy with the nighttime scene. It is somewhat cool a little bit, but I think nighttime scene you can't see what's going on. That's my problem too. And Andy Serkis need more screen time. I hate that his character got killed off, and the fight at the end could have been done better. Some of the CGI there was just wonky and terrible to look at, in my opinion. But other than that, the rest of the film was really good. It's still a good movie. Still, I would say it's one of my favorite films in the MCU. Still one of the best. I'd put up there with Iron Man and Captain America: The Winter Soldier, in my opinion, and Civil War, or Thor: Ragnarok as films I do like. Yeah, or Captain America: The First Avenger, or The Avengers: Avengers of Ultron. I think it's just as good as those, in my opinion. Just my opinion. These videos are just 100% my opinion, guys. But anyway, so my rating for Black Panther 2018, starring Chadwick Boseman, Blake Chadwick Boseman. I'm gonna give this film a thumbs up. My rating for the film is 4 to 5 stars. So a good movie. I highly recommend it if you love superhero movies, or you like other black superhero movies with black leads. Definitely check this one out. If you hated Spawn and still, trust me, it's better than those. And I think it's better than Meteor Man too, because the film it has a good tone and it knows what it is. It does have lighthearted humor, and the humor is good as well. You know, the tone is in the right place. That's the issue I have with Meteor Man. The tone is all over the place. It doesn't know what it wants to be. It's trying to be comedy drama, but this film it is lighthearted and it gives you a different story, but it represents African Americans really well and their culture, and the tone of the movie really works. You know, the tone is very consistent with the movie, and yeah. But anyway, guys, tell me in the comments. Again, my rating for the film is 4 to 5 stars and a thumbs up. Tell me guys in the comments down below. What do you think of this film in your opinion? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Tell me in the comments down below. What do you think of Black Panther, the first Black Panther movie from 2018? In your opinion, do you like it? Do you hate it? What do you think of Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther? Do you guys miss him like I? Well, I'm sure you do. What do you think of him as the character? What do you think of this movie in your opinion? And what are some of your favorite films in the MCU? And what is your opinion on this movie? Let me know in the comments down below. Stay tuned for the next review, guys. This movie, like remember I said, it goes up. I go by years and months. This film is a DC film, an animated DC movie, which I hope is better than the Suicide Squad from 2016. This came out in March, and this is, of course, yeah, that is the right title. Not Batman Something Arkham. That was a Suicide Squad movie, but this movie has that title. That is Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay. So this will be the next one. Oh, and it's rated R too. Yep. 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 But Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay. This will be the next one. This is one of the DC animated films. Let's see. This is the 32nd film of the DC Universe animated version of movies, and the 10th film of the DC animated movie universe. Yeah, try to say that 10 times fast. I'm just kidding. But Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay. So stay tuned for this review coming up next, guys. Stay tuned for this. I'm sure this is better than the 2018 film. Well, number one, rated R, which the first Suicide Squad from 2016 should have been. But Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay. When you're dealing with a movie with villains, you gotta make it rated R. It just makes more sense. Or anti-heroes, whatever you want to call them. But Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay. This will be the next DC animated review, the 32nd DC animated original movie. Okay, so guys, tell me what you think of the 18th film in the MCU, Black Panther. What do you think of this movie in your opinion? Rating for the film was against 4 to 5 stars and a thumbs up. All right. So, if you enjoyed the review, thanks for watching. Wakanda forever. Wakanda forever. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Definitely miss you. All right, guys, have a good one. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.